Nutcracker is a bop, by the way. The full set.
Oh my gosh.
The Snowman's pretty good as well.
Nutcracker is a bop.
Nutcracker is a bop. That's the line of the fucking episode, I think. Gay Millie Super Sounds on the 70s weekend just keeps on coming with this little ditty that reached up to 21 in May of 1970. The George Baker selection. The Tepid Take. Doom, doo, 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 doom.
We started.
I don't know, Matt said he's not ready.
What? Oh, yeah, I was joking.
I was like waiting for something to happen.
I was just like looking at my beer.
I was like, oh, he's probably doing something with sound bites or something.
I was literally looking at the can of beer.
Just reading the description.
There is a lot on this can.
Hops,
This one
barley.
is brewed. Where's it brewed, Matt?
Ellen. I don't know who that is.
Ellen.
I don't know who.
Who the fuck is Ellen?
The host, the chat show host.
Scotland, apparently.
Ah.
I don't
Speaking
know.
of, Addison, you no longer live there anymore.
Have we
How's that
started?
feel?
How's that feel?
Let's go for it.
Are
This
we-
is
are
it.
we
This
in?
is the start.
Let's tell everyone that Addison's moved.
This is a relaxed intro.
I don't like it.
It could start anywhere. How'd your move go, Addison?
As all moves do, stressful. Can we get off this topic? Because I feel very uncomfortable.
Keep going.
Moving
keep going.
on. It feels like it's been a while since we last recorded, actually. Like, it's probably only been like...
It's only 2 days longer
2.5
than normal.
weeks.
It feels like it's been like a fucking month already.
It
Yeah.
really
crazy.
does. Yeah.
It's funny because Sam says this every time he hosts.
I swear I do,
It's
yeah.
been so long.
Do mine always get delayed or something?
But it didn't help that
Someone
we didn't do anything last week either.
No.
No,
We
that's
do
true.
normally do
Oh,
something
yeah.
off week.
Yeah, normally we play with each other.
Yeah. Play with each other. Have you
Pass the
guys been
sausage.
finding the storm? Have you? I'm glad to see that you survived.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, so the day we moved down, England decided to become the windiest fucking country in the world.
Yeah. Because you always hear like, oh yeah, it's colder in Scotland, and the weather's way
Bullshit.
worse than Scotland.
Nah.
Bullshit.
Telling you, it's
Bullshit.
a conspiracy that Scotland's have made up.
I've had a couple of disasters. I was working from, well, I always work from home now, but I can like look out into the back garden, and there was like a 5-litre paint bucket of white paint on a table, and I was kind of looking at it thinking, I should probably put that in the shed, but it'll be alright. And then literally 5 minutes later, it fucking
I should put it in
knocked
the
over.
shed, but it's okay.
It'll be fine.
Was it full of 5 litres of paint as well?
Probably
Only
maybe
3.
two. But yeah, I shouted up to a listener and was like, "We've got a fucking paint emergency, come down." We kind of sorted it. We just about sorted it. But yeah,
Do you know, my rabbits, they live outside, and they were not phased at all. They were like, fuck you, Storm. I'm just going to chill here.
fuck you, Storm.
I mean, they
And
ended
then
up
you
in,
realised you had
Sam's
one less than
garden.
you did the day
Yeah.
before.
What'd you say, Addison?
And then you realised you had one less than you did the day before.
I've gained a rabbit.
I even fucking drove a van in it on Monday. So because you guys are coming down this weekend, and
So you need the
unless
van?
it's kind of well, yeah, I'm bringing you guys down. I'm going to go around and collect you
Give it
guys.
the back.
Yeah, get in. No, Alyssa has been wanting to get like a proper garden table for ages, and she finally found one on Facebook Marketplace, which was like for free. And I was like, all right, I'll get a Hertz van. I've never like driven one before, and oh my god, it was a fucking disaster. So like, I got on this Hertz van. Well, I had to get validated before I could actually get in, and they hadn't validated me in time. And then I set off on this van, and like noticed the left wing mirror was turned in. So I was like, oh shit, I need to like pull over and sort that out. And the next thing was like the closest thing was an Audi garage. So I pulled into this thing, sorted the wing out, and then I couldn't work out how to like reverse the van. So it was like 6 gears. And I was like,
the one that says "ah."
yeah. I was like pushing, and I was like, I can't. It won't.
Did you have to
go.
lift up the
I
thing
lifted
and
it
then
up.
move it?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because
That's what I
my
discovered.
car is like that, because I also
is that a
hired a van.
Ford? Is your car
No,
a Ford?
mine's a Kia. but it's a 6-gear Kia.
Oh,
So
right.
I was already used to that when I drove the van down during the move.
Yeah, I literally I because I can work out to reverse. I was like, what I would do is I'll drive around and come back out. So I tried to do that and then couldn't get round. So I was just like stuck in the middle of all these Audis, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do.
All these
And
40
I had
grand cars.
yeah, I was like, this is the worst situation.
Goes and talks to the man inside.
How do I reverse my man? A guy came out and was like, are you alright? And I was like, I don't know how to reverse that. He was like, oh, just pull up the metal bit. And I was like, oh, okay, got it. I felt like such a fucking twat. But then there was one bit when the wind hit the van and it fucking scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, luckily I missed that on the drive down. I would have hated that.
I had to drive up to Leeds in it. Oh my god, it's awful. I was only in my normal car, but it was fucking hell. Literally like the motorways. Just so stormy. Anyway, we should move on from weather.
That's the weather.
That's the weather.
Well, we are British. We have to
sports.
talk about weather most of the time.
The listeners from other countries are going to go,
What is the storm?
The tepid
what's-
take on the weather.
Tepid news.
Was it Eunice or something?
yeah,
Eugene.
Tepid take on Eunice.
Eunice? Hasn't there been like 2 as
There's
well?
been 3 storms.
Wasn't there like
3?
a thread as well?
Fuck you know. This weather needs to chill out.
Right, now we can
Anyway.
move on.
What are we talking about? So today we're doing a bit of a fun. Well, it could be fun. It might be
Very
controversial.
this could be the last episode we ever do.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Some people may quit. Some people may quit. After
There may be less members of the Tepid Take next time.
Basically, our main topic is going to be kind of controversial film opinions. So we've all picked a popular film that we kind of like dislike, and an unpopular film that we do like. And so we're going to discuss those later on. But obviously, we've got our mini topics. So we're going to be talking about the game Prey from Anderson. Mark's going to be talking about is Overboard a game?
Overboard is a game, yes.
But you're also going to do a little reference to Death in the Nile, the new
Yeah,
film.
'cause the Overboard is a murder mystery.
That's it, yeah. Matt's going to be talking about Ozark, and I'm going to be talking about Sifu.
Seafood. Why are you talking about seafood?
Seafood. Every time I say it, I feel like I'm saying. No, we're talking about prawns.
Please no, I'm allergic to prawns.
I know you are, aren't you? Oh, they're so good. They're so good.
Fucking prawn.
Matt, do you want to kick us off?
Oh shit, son.
Prawn hater.
Yeah. So, have any of you watched the Netflix series Ozark?
No.
No.
I'm
None of
so
you.
bad with series.
No, it's one of those ones
actually
I've always
noticed.
been meant
Yeah.
to because I like Jason Bateman and it looks kind of
Yes.
cool, but it also looks very Breaking Bad. And
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Exactly
yeah.
how Matt describes it to me.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fine. Yeah.
That's his review done.
Yeah. On to the next
I
person.
love Breaking Bad, but it looks very like that, and I just already like a show
Well,
like that.
I'll talk about
Yeah.
it anyway. And so Ozark is a Netflix series with Jason Bateman and what's her name? I'm looking at my notes now. Laura Linney. Laura Linney is
You got like
Yeah,
an
the
actual
person.
notepad as well.
yeah, I
Love
do.
it.
It's got like a
Little
feather
red
on it.
That's a very pretty notepad.
The girliest notepad I've ever seen. Did you write your dreams in there as well?
I did, yeah. Well, my work one is like a map, so it's actually quite manly. He says.
I like it.
So I thought I'll go for this flowery
Gendered
one.
notebooks, love it.
Yeah.
Change it up.
Oh, she's the one from Love Actually.
Yeah, I think she is, isn't she? Yeah.
She's the American one in Love Actually.
So they're the main they're the
Right.
main characters basically, and they play Marty and Wendy Bird, and they have 2 children. So this family is basically they work for the drug cartel, the Mexican drug cartel, and Marty is a launderer for the Mexican drug cartel.
Ooh.
Some shit goes down, and they have to move to the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. Missouri. Because of it,
Accent in Missouri.
I don't know. It's
don't know.
very southern, I think. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Judging by most of the accents in the show, it's pretty southern.
Oh, okay.
Um, But yeah, because they have some shit that goes down with the cartel, they have to move to the Ozarks to basically make up to the cartel and try and like redeem themselves. So it's kind of like them trying to set up shit in the Ozarks for the Mexican drug cartel. It is very Breaking Bad. Yeah, I will admit that. I think it's kind of like how I would describe the two main characters is it's kind of like two Walter Whites.
Okay.
So the husband and wife are kind of both Walter White-esque, I guess, in that they kind of like they're both trying to work the angles of the cartel and trying to like eventually they try and get one over on each other and
Okay.
But I mean I've only seen three. I have only seen 3 seasons. There's only season 4 came out recently, like part 1 of season 4. It came out at the end of February, so I've only seen pretty much to the end of season 3. But yeah,
is it humorous in any way?
No,
because you got
do not
Jason
expect
Bateman.
humour. Do not expect humour.
Like going by the trailers, it never looked like
He
it
will
was.
be traumatized.
Yeah,
It looks really dark.
It is really fucking dark. There's literally one scene where a man turns around and a woman shoots him in the fucking face with a shotgun, and his face is just gone.
Jesus.
It's fucking.
Sounds quite ultra violent.
That was It's not ultra violent. That's only. They kind of do it well. That they only do those sort of things like very rarely. So when you see it kind of is really impactful. Whereas if it was like every 5 minutes, you probably go, I become a bit desensitized to it. But because it's like that scene itself is kind of like, oh shit, you fucked up. It's very like every season is kind of a ticking time bomb. There's always like a time element to it, and it always seems to be like, oh, we need to fucking do this before this happens. We need to do X before Y happens. Yeah, it's very
Like
kind of
24,
formulaic in that way, I guess.
I've
But
been watching.
sorry,
Like 24, which I've been watching.
no, it's not. It's not
It's the
exactly.
only thing you've been able to watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the only thing I downloaded on my phone.
This is all I fucking got.
I've seen it 5 times. Oh. Yeah, I will. I think it's really good. I don't think it's quite like Breaking Bad. I think there's more of a family. I know there's obviously family in Breaking Bad, but the family are kind of involved in this time around. So it's kind of a bit like they're all becoming a bit desensitized to it, and then the people around them are sort of like reacting to it, and like they're getting into all sorts of shit. Ridiculous.
The other one that's kind of like that is Weeds, but I think that's meant to be a lot funnier. I think that is.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, the only other thing I can think of is Weeds, because I think that came out before Breaking Bad as well.
Did
I
it?
think
Probably.
Yeah.
But
I think they were actually on at the same time at one point.
Oh, okay.
I always forget how old Breaking Bad is.
it's really old. Yeah. I mean, Ozark is relatively new. I mean, it's only just had its 4th season, so it's. I think it probably started in 2018. I imagine.
I mean, the latest Breaking Bad thing was only a couple of years ago. To be fair.
Oh, El Camino. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I suppose.
Or
so.
I guess.
Yeah. Huh?
Or Better Call Saul, I guess.
Or Better Call Saul,
But
yeah,
I
which
did
is
mean
amazing.
El Camino.
I like Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is really good. Like I say, because it's Jason Bateman, you expect that comedy, but it really is not there. There's like maybe like 1 or 2 funny bits, but they're not like comedy funny. They're just it's just funny because of what's happening. You know, it's nothing majorly.
Is it like too serious? Could it do with a bit of humor here and there?
No, it's actually expect drama because it is a drama. It's definitely not. It was never meant to be serious. You know, the actors in it are all really, really good, and they play it really fucking well. There's an actor in season 3 who has to play a bipolar person, and holy shit, they do such a good job of it. It's so good. And their character is a really great character as well, which only really gets introduced in season 3. I don't know, and I don't want to say because it'll give away.
Okay.
Spoilers.
All right, spoilers.
It's cool to see like Jason Bateman branch out because
he produces it. I think it was kind of like I don't know if it's his idea as such, but I think he's probably one of the reasons it's happened. I think is because of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's brilliant in it. He plays the character really well. He's kind of like his character is actually quite straight faced. They don't really. They kind of don't. He doesn't really have much time for bullshit, so it's kind of like the opposite how you expect him to be. I think. Yeah. I don't know if he's done that on purpose,
No, yeah.
but it kind of feels like he.
It just sounds weird to hear him be acting like so seriously. Like that's such, it kind of does make
Yeah.
me want to give it a go. Actually, like because
Yeah, I think you should. Like there's also some really great cinematography and editing. It's really, really subtle, but there's some really nice stuff, and it's kind of like it's nice to see some like new elements of like filmmaking. They kind of do some like interesting stuff that people hadn't really done before. Like I say, it's very, very subtle. So I think only if you've ever done video production, you would ever know about it.
This fucking guy.
It's been a while since you mentioned this, to be fair.
You had to throw it in, didn't you?
And I do this.
Well, I think if you're just a regular viewer, I
Schmuck,
guess.
yeah.
A regular old schmo.
you're a fucking idiot.
I don't think you would notice those sort of things as much, but like some of the framing is like phenomenal. Like, especially like the first, I think it's like the second season is like so well shot and so well edited. It's really, really
I love
good.
a good bit of framing as well.
But it is dark. Yeah, like obviously, you're expecting a bit of some dark moments with the Mexican drug cartel.
yeah.
But there are they've introduced some really interesting characters, and like they obviously kill off people as well that you wouldn't expect, and so Game of Thronesy in that way, I guess. But
Okay, that's cool.
it's hard hitting. It's very hard hitting, and I'm certainly enjoying watching it. I don't want to say too much about it without giving everything away, but it's certainly.
What's it on? Like, where do you
It's
watch?
on
Where
Netflix.
can you watch it?
It's on Netflix.
Oh right.
Yeah, so
is
it's
it an original?
It's a Netflix original show. Yeah.
Ah, cool.
But yeah, I definitely recommend it. Weirdly, the first time I watched it, because I tried to watch it when it first came out, I think, and I literally watched like a couple episodes, and it just wasn't gripping me at all, and I kind of just switched off. And then I tried it a few weeks ago, or like a week or so ago, and literally gripped me on the first episode. It was really weird, and I didn't remember any of what I'd had watched before. I was like, I didn't remember this fucking happening. Yeah,
it's so weird when that happens. I've had that
it was really weird how it just didn't grip me before, and then this time it just like
Turns out he was actually watching the new season of Arrested Development.
Yeah, probably.
Where's the Mexican cartel?
Yeah, the new season of Arrested Development is questionable.
That's one way of describing it.
So you'd say choose Ozark over
Choose Ozark, yes. Watch old Arrested Development. That's great.
Yeah.
Is
But,
that the thing that like Michael Cera kind of started in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think a lot of them kind of started in that because Will Arnett is in it as well, who's great.
Holy shit.
Love Will Arnett.
Don't think I've seen a single episode of Arrested Development.
Neither have I.
No, I wouldn't worry about it
Quite
too
funny.
much.
It's
but
of its time. It's a little bit.
yeah, it's okay.
Would Adson call it dated?
He would call it dated. It is very dated, yes.
This is a
It is,
dated show.
Yeah.
It was ahead of its time at the time, and now it's
Kind of caught up.
behind the times.
But the graphics are shit.
The graphics are shit. Michael Cera looks like a child.
Yeah. What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here, child Michael Cera. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah.
Any more to say on Ozark?
No.
Matu?
Watch it. Fucking awesome.
Watch it. That's
Yeah.
what you got to say.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, I'm not going to try any cool segues because Addison's segue
Going
game
from
was so good last week.
Ozark to Mark.
Oh, there we go. Can
Well,
you
you could
just
have
always
gone,
do our
you could have
segues,
gone back
Addison?
to the framing, because what happens in Murder Mysteries?
There we go. Tell you what else.
Cinematography.
Like you literally just gave me the segue and I kind of forgot it instantly.
Framing.
Say,
He's going to frame you for murder,
so
Sam.
what else has good framing? Something
people.
Mark watched.
Okay, so I watched Death on the Nile, which is the new continuation almost on Murder on the Orient Express that came out in 2017.
Yeah.
It follows the Agatha Christie series of books. This came out, I think it came out on the 11th, so 2 weeks ago, 11th of Feb, I think. So the basic setup is that someone is murdered. Murder mystery, well done.
Oh, shit.
What? Spoilers.
It's on a
Next, you're
luxury
going to tell me it
cruise.
happens on the Nile.
Yeah, luxury cruise on the Nile. There's been a death on the Nile. Obviously, everyone is a suspect, and you spend the whole entire film deducing who the murderer was.
Yeah.
Am I a suspect?
Kind of just, you could be a suspect.
Oh, that's not
was
good,
mad.
is it?
Where were you on the evening of 1935 or wherever it was set? I don't know.
1935.
Oh, Poirot, that was something. 1935.
Did you guys see Murder on the Orient Express? that came out?
Yeah, didn't
No.
actually.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
all
it-
right.
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh is the director as well as playing Poirot.
Yeah, so me and Billy watched it in cinema because it was our sort of thing. But because we were quite ignorant and had never read or seen anything about that, we were actually quite disappointed by the ending twist.
Yeah, the ending twist
Which
is
is
really
obviously
mad.
this super famous classic thing, but we went, oh, it's a bit out of nowhere, wasn't it?
I think that's the thing. I went into Murder on the Orient Express knowing the twist.
Yeah,
Whereas
see,
I-
we had no idea.
I didn't for
just
Death on the
didn't
Nile, and I think
Okay.
I don't know whether I enjoyed Death on the Nile more because it was just generally a better film and the setups were better, or whether it's because I didn't know who the perpetrator was going to be at the end. I think that's where it's a bit confusing sometimes. It's about, I think it's 2 hours 7 minutes, and I found myself actually being captivated pretty much the whole time. The only thing that kind of jarred me a little bit when you talk about kind of cinematography and everything is right at the start. You've got the Pyramids of Giza, and you can kind of see where the green screen starts, and it's a bit jarring.
Yeah.
And there's a few
That
shots
damn
they
green
use
screen.
as well where it's like they're spinning around the boat, and it's just a bit much sometimes. But other than that, the film is, I think, really good. There is actually also a set piece at the start as well where you find out why Poirot's got the scar and has the moustache to cover it.
Oh, right.
But it's kind of like a
All right.
quite lengthy, unnecessary, and just feels a bit like Kenneth Branagh sucking himself off. Like he's that kind of like.
If we could.
So without
Especially with that
trying to,
moustache.
I would personally recommend if you enjoy murder mysteries and you haven't read the book, or even if you have read the book, there's some changes in there that make it kind of fun for people that
Have you
have
read the
read.
book?
I read the book, and there is some differences in terms of
You've read the
they've
book?
kind of they've streamlined characters, but they've also changed the roles that they would have had in the book as well, because the book's a bit more like complex, whereas the film's kind of straightforward. These are the characters.
Right, okay.
So if you enjoy that, I'd say go into that. So for me, I actually recently have been playing a game called Overboard, which kind of plays into this enjoyment of murder mysteries.
I'm guessing it's based on a
So
boat.
it is also, it's also on a boat. It's a nice little
Smash.
So the difference here is that in Overboard, it's a whodunit, but you're the killer.
Okay.
So you've
That's cool.
pushed
You got to
pushed
figure
your
out who you are. Find one mirror.
Who's the murderer?
Was it me? What?
I found a bloody knife in my bag.
I can't believe I killed them.
So this is the game set in July 1935. You're married to the wealthy Malcolm Valence, whose fortune actually has just been wiped out from really bad investments.
Okay.
So your name is, I think, Veronica.
It was Bitcoin, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bitcoin at the time. You get on a boat called the SS Hook, and you're off for a new life in America. But you have other plans. So you go up to the top deck. You tell him, look at these dolphins, and then you push him off.
Ooh.
And then the rest,
Probably
you've then
survived
got
that.
you've then got 8 hours, like 8 hours real time, to
that's
convince everyone else on the boat that it wasn't you,
Oh, shit.
and frame other people.
Okay.
That's really cool.
That's cool.
And I thought the whole thing was really cool for that, just alone. But then there's something that really surprised me is I played it through the first time, I failed, and then I wake up and you've woken up, but you remember what the last playthrough was.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
it's kind of borderline like
Like Deathloop.
Groundhog. Yeah, it's
12
like
minutes.
Groundhog.
Yeah,
12 minutes was the one I said. Yeah, 12 minutes without the incest, basically.
Fucking hell, I still haven't played that game, but now I want to.
Oh, for God's sake.
And I thought that kind of, I was like, what's the replayability of this game going to be? I didn't really know what it was like. Maybe you just finish it the once, you do it really well, and that's it. But like, there is a reason to play through constantly now.
So this is an indie game, right? This isn't a AAA game. I've never.
No,
heard
this
of
is an indie game. So this came
this
out.
Yeah.
This came out in June 2021
Oh, right.
So it's not
on
new.
Steam, the Switch for 11. I think it's like £11.40, and it came out on the App Store as
shit.
well for £5. So if you want to
wow.
play it
Called
cheap, you can do it on the phone.
I'll play
Overboard,
this.
yeah.
That's buying this right now.
But basically every every character on the boat has some sort of story that would allow you to tie them to the murder.
That's
But
cool.
you've just got to spend enough time, like, kind of working out where you can capture various things from them and then kind of set them up.
Yeah.
And what I've realised is from every playthrough that I've done so far, which they're about 15 minutes kind of playthrough, no matter how much you try and keep out of everyone's way, the last hour you get called into the restaurant and you've all got to kind of say, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So then you've got to try and go, oh no, this person did it, this person.
It was Colonel Mustard.
Yeah, it was
He's got a
Colonel
dolphin
Mustard
in
with
his room. He did it.
The kind of the dialogue choices are Telltale style-esque, but without the timer.
Right.
So you kind of get
Yeah.
3 options, generally 3 or 4 options, and you
Like
just
Mass
choose which
Effect.
one you think's best.
I've been playing Mass Effect recently.
But I think the thing that annoys me,
It's on his mind.
I don't know how you guys find it with like the Telltales and stuff. Sometimes you make a mistake and you're like, oh shit, and then that's it. Your playthrough's now set.
Is
Whereas
it
with
something?
this,
Sometimes, like
I
you
know
say
reverse.
something, you press something that's like totally different to what you actually say.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or
you
like
say
in
like,
LA
oh yeah,
Noire.
good idea, and then it's like, fuck you, you fucking dick. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I
what?
I think
didn't
there's
wanna
one
say
in
that.
The Wolf Among Us, and it is something like, give him a glass. And
You
you don't
smash
give
him
him
the
a glass,
glass
you
over his
fucking
head.
glass him in the head.
There's one in Mass Effect 2, I think, where I picked like the.
I know the exact
antagonist
one you mean.
Yeah, and he kicked him out of a fucking window.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's like,
whoa!
yeah.
It's like, fucking hell, Shepard. Christ.
I was thinking like LA Noire as well, where you like doubt, and then it's all of a sudden you're just like screaming at him. It's like, what?
I know you fucking did it, you murderer.
But with
Didn't
this,
they,
you
didn't
can.
they renamed what their options were because they were so like
I think they
different to
did,
how
yeah.
people reacted.
Yeah, like because they did a bunch of remasters, didn't they, for that game?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so with this, I think like when you get to an end of kind of a section where you're speaking, you can actually reverse. If you've made a
Okay.
mistake there, you don't have to then
Oh,
play the
that's
rest of
cool.
the game. And also, the 8 hours is across kind of each playthrough you do. So I've played it through kind of, I think 6 times now,
So is it
and it's
actually
now
8
down
hours?
to it's 8
real
hours in
life?
terms of real life to make sure you get away with it. But you keep failing until you work out kind of the reasoning. I did think it was going to get a bit boring, and you do occasionally get to the same dialogue options, but you can skip through them. So it kind of comes up with a little button to the side you can click, and it just fast forwards through the dialogue you've already done, and then you can choose dialogue you haven't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I haven't really heard of a kind of like proper like real time mechanic like that since the only thing I can think of was like Dead Rising. I think it was the first one that had like a
yeah.
real time mechanic. I hated it.
Yeah, it was a
love
pain in the
that.
ass.
I
yeah.
love Dead Rising.
Yeah, some people loved it.
The timer, I hated the timer as well.
Oh, I fucking hated it. Yeah. But
We're all about
maybe
timers this week. I knew I should have talked about 24.
switch it quick. Do it. You could do it.
I didn't know what to really expect with this, but it really did kind of blow me away. It's quite a simple game. Like, if you look at the art style, it's just kind of generic animation with dialogue choices that aren't spoken word. They kind of just read them off the screen. But it really enjoyed it. And I also liked as well that there's a section there's a chapel in there. If you go into the chapel, you talk to God. And God is essentially giving you little pointers, but like he's taking the piss out of you as he's doing it. But it's like almost like a little cheat sheet, but he's like, okay, yeah, come on, you got to be better than that. Yeah, really enjoyed it. I think it filled that
sounds
gap
really interesting.
that 12 minutes had,
Yeah, it does sound cool.
but was a lot better than 12 minutes.
It's also 8 hours, not 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 minutes was a really quick game, actually.
It's a fucking
It's
short
on
game.
Switch, Steam, or play it on the iPhone, or Google, or whatever you've got. Yeah, worth it.
Oh, shit. It's a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I actually might give that a go. So it's pretty cool to see a murder mystery where you play as the predator and not the prey.
I was gonna do soundbite before we moved on.
to
Fuck's
me.
Oh,
sake.
sorry. Go on then.
Yeah.
Go on then, Matt.
Fuck's sake.
This is turning into some fucking serious
so
stuff. There
fucking
could be a
loud.
murder in this. Sorry, am I saying
This
murder
is so
wrong? I'll
loud.
say it like an English person. Murder. Like the Queen. Murder.
Who is that? I reckon that's
Lemmy.
Lemmy.
Lemmy. Yeah.
Lemmy, yeah.
He
That's
is pretty
it.
funny.
He's like a Twitch streamer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that was
So
so loud.
fucking loud. I didn't test it beforehand.
I thought someone was in my room. I turned around. Like, what the fuck?
I feel like my ears have been murdered after that.
Just Limmy standing behind you.
Oh my god, man, me. So Addison, you've been playing Prey. I almost
Prey
said Prey and Play.
2017, not the 2006 one that I have never seen a gameplay video of and couldn't tell anything about.
It's probably
I went to
dated.
buy it once, and the guy was like, "Just don't do it." I was like, okay.
Yeah. Apparently, it's got
Dated.
absolutely nothing to do with this one, so I'm not too bothered about missing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played this because it was the one game I have on disc that was installed on my Xbox, and I was able to play for the 2 weeks I didn't have internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I suppose you can't play anything while you haven't got the internet. Like,
No, it's fucking bullshit. So I had all these
Yeah.
games installed, and I was like, oh, at least I'll be able to play them. No.
you've got to be connected to the internet.
That's so shit.
I wouldn't feel
Yeah.
sorry for you, but I got a PS2 sitting behind me, so that's fine. The Wii's fine.
I feel sorry for you.
Play it on the PC.
Yeah, so this is a game that I got when it came out, and I don't know why, but it never properly hooked me. I probably put like 5 hours in or so, so a decent chunk, and I just never really got into it. If you guys played this, I think Matt has.
I have played this. Yes,
I haven't.
I played
I've
the
always
whole
thought about
thing.
it. I think I've downloaded it multiple times, but never hit fucking play for some reason.
So the best way I can explain it is basically a more modern Bioshock sort of game.
Yeah,
Or
it's very
if you're
Bioshock, but in
older
space.
than we are, System Shock. Which
Oh,
was-
damn, you've sold me now. Right, that's it. I'm going to go download it. See you in a minute.
It is very System Shock-esque, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super similar in sort of concept to those, where you're kind of in this very confined space. In this instance, a
confined
space
space.
station. It is large, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's more open than Bioshock, which is the one I'm kind of comparing to. I haven't actually played any of the System Shocks, but from what I gather, they're fairly similar.
They are
like a
pretty similar.
remake of that
Yeah,
coming out.
yeah. The
I think
second,
so. Maybe
the
the
first one. I
second
think,
one.
yeah.
The second one was really popular when it came out.
Yeah.
I played some of the second one.
Yeah.
It is very similar to Prey, actually, but it's very dated.
This is not. This plays really well. Still, it's so 5 years old now, and it's still really good.
That's pretty cool.
It's kind of
But you-
like Dishonored because it's Bethesda. It's kind of Dishonored. But
Was it
it's
Arcane
actually
as well?
Arcane. Yeah,
it is Arcane,
Who
isn't it?
did?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Who did
Yeah.
Dishonored and more recently Deathloop.
Yeah.
There's something weird with their games where, like, when I initially play them, for some reason they don't hook me in, and I think I don't like them, even though everything is telling me that I should like them. And then when I go back, I love them for some reason. I did the exact same thing with Dishonored.
I cannot wait for the Deathloop review from you.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go.
Fucking hate it.
5 years later.
5
So I
years later.
started this.
Oh, it's pretty
Best
good.
game. It's my number one game. I love it.
Yeah.
Does it have the same kind of like art style that they go for, like
Yeah.
in Dishonored, that kind of like
Yeah,
Kind
it's
of,
kind of
yeah.
that.
comic-y kind of?
Yeah, it's got that
Comic
kind of
show,
sort
yes,
of
yeah.
look to it when you do see human characters. You don't see many live ones. You see a lot
Like,
of
they've
dead
been
ones.
like painted.
Yeah. It's an interesting look. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
for it. Other times I kind of can't be asked with it.
It's not quite as bad in Prey. It's a bit more realistic in Prey, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not as exaggerated as Dishonored
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
I'm
more
not
like-
sure about Deathloop because I haven't played it. But
Deathloop it's probably similar to Deathloop if you'd seen Deathloop.
Okay. Interesting.
yeah, so I've played a whole bunch of this because it's all I could play, and yeah, it's just really enjoyable. I would say one thing that I don't like, I really don't like the design of the aliens.
Do you know? I like them.
what
Yeah.
are they? They're just like
They're kind
So
of like,
it's
no, go for
these
it.
like black blobs, basically,
Yeah.
and then the smaller ones, the kind of famous ones, because they can change into like loads of different
mimics.
types of
Yeah.
objects. They're called
oh,
mimics,
that's really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Which is great, and like in that very early game, you do kind of shit yourself because you'll be
You're
like
like, "Oh,
picking
fuck,
up like
fucking
all these
chair!"
items, and then suddenly a mug will turn into this thing.
The boom arm. Oh my god.
My controller. What the fuck?
Well, that'd be really good.
You
Actually.
very quickly get an item that kind of negates their mimic power,
Oh,
which is fair because like if you had that for the whole game, I think it would ruin the pacing.
bit annoying, yeah.
But the rest of the aliens' designs I find really boring because they are just big black blobs
Big humanoidy.
in kind
yeah.
of different shapes.
different shapes. Yeah, basically different creatures, I suppose, aren't they? Yeah.
And they're just not as interesting as anything like the different types of whatever they call them in Bioshock. I can't remember.
Pokemon. Say Pokemon, man.
Did you say Pokemon?
Not as interesting as Squirtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I've watched a couple of trailers for this and reviews, and every time I see the enemies, I'm like, oh, that's a bit boring.
I wouldn't let that dissuade you though, because it is
totally
the gameplay is amazing and the story is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's quite an interesting.
It's got this
story.
really great sort of systemic gameplay where everything you do kind of changes everything. And something that's really cool is you'll leave an area for hours, and when you come back to it, some things will have changed because of new enemies or whatever. But stuff that you put in certain places will stay.
Oh, right, okay.
Hours.
That's pretty cool.
Which is quite interesting. Like, a really good weapon you have, which is quite unique, is this thing called a glue gun, which
glue gun.
Sounds
so it fires these massive. It does sound shit as soon as you describe it.
Just stick it down.
Big balls of
gun,
stick.
right?
Can you come closer so I can just glue gun you?
It's sticky.
And hold it there until it cools down as well.
Hold it for 30 seconds.
But it fires these big blobs of like foam that hardens really quickly, and you can stand on them. So you can use that to kind of get around loads of different objects. Fuck's sake, I'm just let's move
Mark's
on.
eyebrow. It did like a little eyebrow flick.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've lost you, so let's move on.
All I can think about is the glue gun now.
Hot glue.
There are some great moments in the game though, like there's some really good traversal bits where you got to go. Do you like hover through space in bits?
Yeah, so you can hop out. One good thing I think is better than what Bioshock does is you can kind of go almost anywhere whenever you want by hopping out of the spaceship and going to an area that you've already unlocked an airlock and hopping back into that area through a spacewalk.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You can kind of do that throughout the whole station.
Yeah,
Not a moonwalk like I called it the other week.
moonwalk. Yeah.
I mean, you can walk backwards in the game. That is a feature that is included.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. So if you like Bioshock and System Shock and shocking games,
And Dishonored. Yeah.
give it a go.
Thundershock.
It's basically,
I completely overlooked it.
Dishonored combined with I don't know what this motion I'm doing is.
Yeah.
Just doing something with my fingers.
It's that similar sort of thing where you've got all the gunplay, but you've also got these like weird powers. Like you can get an ability to turn into things like the mimics do.
Oh, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to hear because. Alright, okay. Because I always just from judging from trailers, I always thought it'd be something similar to like Alien Isolation. That's probably just because it's set in space.
No, it's not
Like
as
it kind of
scary.
feels like that for like half an hour.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the beginning when you just have a wrench and then you know there's loads of mimics everywhere. But it very
And then
quickly
you get like
becomes
powers
not
and a
that.
gun and shit. Yeah.
And it comes way more kind of Bioshock. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should.
It
This
is a Bioshock type game. That is
Yeah.
the easiest and most apt comparison.
Yeah, I feel like this has been on Game Pass forever as well. I swear, like it's always on fucking Game Pass.
You know what you'll do? You'll download it.
now,
It'll be
isn't it?
leaving soon.
Well, it won't be though. It's Bethesda. Yeah.
2 days remaining.
Bethesda
published,
will
so
have it on there forever. Well, as long as they're owned by Xbox.
that's great.
Microsoft owns everything now, so
Yeah, I
we're all
would
good.
like to see a sequel in a similar vein, but I'd also love to see a sequel to Bioshock in some vein. So I just like these type of games, I guess.
Yeah, it's fair.
Despite not
know,
getting on with it,
Bioshock
when it
Infinite.
released.
Bioshock Infinite, I tried to play 3 times and I cannot finish it. I just do not like it.
I really enjoy it.
That is the weakest of the original.
Like the second one is like the best one, I think.
That's
Is that the one you play as like a Big
Daddy.
Daddy?
First one is like the twist.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second
It's
one you
weird.
play as Big
I know
Daddy.
the twist without having completed that
You
game.
never played Bioshock?
Well,
I'm,
No, I
what I'm
played-
realising is Sam's not completing games. He just plays plays some of
I
it.
played half of it, and then a few years later, someone tells me in the end.
He's
Well,
watching
the
his
shame
brother
about
play
this
it.
is I know I'm not going to complete it now, despite being 17 hours in, and I'm pretty sure close to the end, because Elden Ring comes out tomorrow.
You do know you can go back to it, right?
Look out for his review
Huh?
on the next
You
episode.
can go.
That's not possible.
You can go
Mark.
back to pray at some point.
I'll have forgotten how to play it, and I can't play it.
Well, I'll switch your internet off when I come visit.
Yeah,
You'll go, okay, I've got to play Prey again.
cut the
And I'll
cable.
go, oh fuck, I uninstalled it to fit Elden Ring.
No, I can't play anything. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, so-
Well, one game that still haven't completed yet, but I think I will. I think I will complete this game.
This will be your first one.
Yeah,
First one ever.
First ever game completed.
This is a milestone, guys. So yeah, I've been playing Sifu. So I feel like we mentioned this game when it was was it on like the PlayStation?
It was on
there was a
something.
direct that
Yeah,
had it.
it was a direct. Yeah,
I think it was the
Yeah.
episode where Addison wasn't with us,
Oh,
and there was a PlayStation
mention
that.
and a direct. So we kind of filled the void of Addison not being there, which we're very sad about, with the PlayStation discussion.
That's
do
right.
you mean the least listened to episode?
We don't talk about that.
I do.
Yeah, so you probably like kind of from that direct seeing that it's a kind of very like martial arts heavy focus kind of game. It's essentially like a modern beat 'em up game.
That's the bit that puts me off.
I wouldn't let it.
Okay.
It's not beat 'em up in the kind of crappy 2D way like Streets of Rage or anything like that. Because
Yeah.
Or
that
Scott
usually
Pilgrim.
puts the Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, I haven't gone back to that since I reviewed on
Is
episode
that on
1.
Switch yet?
I think so.
No one's played it
What
with
I've
him
heard.
though. That's why.
I need friends. It's developed by Slow Clap, and they did a game called Absolver, which I played a little bit of.
Adson's is even slower than
I was
mine.
thinking about it, and then you just did it. And I was like, I'm not going to bother now. Yeah.
Fun editing that one.
Very good. Yeah. Why is this audio starting halfway through the episode? Yeah, so
probably
developed by
best.
Slow Clap, and I I played a bit of Absolver. I don't know if you guys did. Addison's still. Here we go.
No, I
Still
didn't.
hear that.
No, I never got around to it. I think it was on Game Pass at one point, and then when I went to go check it out, they'd taken it off. Annoyingly.
When I went to look at
Comments
it.
anymore.
I was like, I can't play this now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
no.
alright. Like it had a weird kind of like online multiplayer part to it, which I just didn't really get on with. And I remember the combat was great, which obviously it seems to be their kind of strong suit. But it was the whole online thing, and I could never work out where the fuck I had to go in that game. Whereas Sifu is like much more of a kind of linear, kind of like single player game.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially the kind of inspiration for it is like Jackie Chan kung fu films.
No, not Jackie Chan Adventures, though. That's sick.
Well, you do have some magical talismans in this.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, so
So if it is.
do you guys ever collect those like I don't know if
I
we've spoken about
swear
this
we've
before.
talked about this before.
Yeah. When it was like
Yeah.
the little comics which had the talismans.
I
We
wish
should
I'd
definitely
one
mention
issue.
this.
Yeah. I was like, this sounds familiar.
Such a
So yeah, essentially like the kind of setup to the game is it's a kind of classic like, revenge tale where the game kind of opens with like an assault on a kind of martial arts dojo. And you kind of play as one of the attackers. And
That's
essentially
interesting.
Yeah, it's a really
Sorry.
cool way to like
Yeah.
open a game. Really dark as well. And you're kind of like massacring all the students, and then you kind of meet the Sifu, who's essentially like the master. And you kind of fight him and end up killing him. And then this is witnessed by his kid, who then is like the main protagonist.
damn.
So
sounds like
Sifu
Batman.
was a title, not a name.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It becomes the seafood.
The seafood. And essentially, the plot is that a few years pass and your character kind of trains up, and when they reach the age of 20, they kind of go on this like revenge mission.
Okay.
It's when I remember watching a couple of reviews for this and hearing that it only has like 5 levels, and
Oh, right.
initially I was like, oh, that sounds fucking well short. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
He's like, I can finally finish a game. Yes.
Yeah, I can do this. I can do it. I thought like, I'll have this game done in like a few hours, and literally today I was playing it just before the podcast, just to kind of like get in tune with it, and I've
Still
only
level
just.
1?
I only just got past the 3rd level, and
Wow.
now
How
stuck on
long-
level 4.
How long have you been playing it? Sorry.
Probably about 2 weeks or so, like on and
Wow.
off.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Either
the reason
you're
is because
really shit or it's really hard.
it's a combination of both. No, the game is a difficult game, and that's kind of been mentioned quite a few times. Like it's weird with that because obviously, like, you know, you have the Souls games and stuff which are known for the difficulty as well, and that can be a real turn off for people. And I had
Turn on. Yeah.
or turn on.
Adson's aroused by it. We know he is.
Strap me in.
Like table just lifted up.
Yeah, like I'll be interested to hear what Elden Ring's like because I've tried the Souls games and the difficulty has definitely put me off, but somehow with this game it's really hooked me, and I think the reason for that is the combat is so fucking good. It's like
It's very
incredible.
fluid.
I've heard
Yeah.
it's got some similarities to Sekiro combat. Or
Oh, okay.
I think I heard that from Mark from watching a video. So
Yeah, I say it looks.
don't know how accurate that is.
In terms of the parrying and everything, it looks kind of similar to Sekiro.
Okay, yeah. There is you can parry and you can kind of combine that with like different moves and stuff. It's just like the combat animations, like you said, Matt, they're so fluid, and they really, I don't know, they feel so genuine. Like I'm not a martial artist. The closest thing I did a bit of karate once, and that was it. As in, you did like fucking Thai boxing or something at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, I did a couple weeks of it. And then
So you'll know what I'm talking about.
When you said
martial
Addison
artists,
there, I thought you'd like karate chopped him at uni or something.
He did.
we can cut this.
Christ. But you can just tell that it's just fucking so authentic, and like the way it goes, it's like the controls are they start off quite basic. You have like a light attack, a heavy attack, you do finishers, and so it starts off like, oh, okay, this is quite simple, but then, you know, you kind of gain skills as you go through. But it's just the way everything flows in with each other. It just feels amazing. Like the only other game that I think compares to it for me is the most recent God of War, because I love the combat in that game because it felt
okay,
so
yeah.
That's
Interesting.
some high praise, damn.
Yeah.
because it felt so impactful and like visceral, and it's the same with this. It's so fucking good. Like it's one of those games when if you kind of watch someone play it, you're like, yeah, that looks pretty good, but once you're playing it, and you know, it's amazing what control of my vibration can do to immerse you in these kind of things.
Especially when you put it somewhere that's special.
Oh, that's why it turns Addison on.
Light attack. But yeah, I think just that is the best part of this game, is they've fucking nailed the combat. It's like, I can't give it enough praise. It's just so good. Like every time I play it, I'm like, I can't believe how good this combat is.
What
When
are you
sent me
playing
over,
on? Sam?
sorry, go for
Sorry.
it.
What console are you playing this on? Are you playing it on PC?
I'm playing it on PC, but I believe it's on PS5, and I think it's on PS4.
Because the haptic feedback sounds like something to be perfect for PS5.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had a PS5 to play this, because I think it would be so, like, again, feel amazing. It feels good. You know, I'm just playing it on like an Xbox Series controller, and that feels good enough.
You can buy a PS5 controller and use it on the PC, right?
Yeah, but that's more money to spend, Matt.
But you want to buy a PS5 to know.
That's worth it. What were you going to ask, Matt? You were gonna say something?
Yeah, you sent me a clip earlier of like you playing it, and it did look like a lot of fun. It looked like really fluid, and the music was like fucking insane. Should I play it?
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, so this clip essentially is I was just like, you know, just playing the game, and I just captured this part without realising my mic was on. So you hear like a genuine reaction from me. Oh my god! Oh, sick!
Fucking sick.
Why does that sounds like a Hadouken beat.
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah.
So that kind of like leads me into the next part, is that the game pays so much. a lot of homage to different, martial art kind of centric films. That must be an homage to John Wick because it's.
It looked very John Wicky, yeah. Wiki.
Yeah, John Wicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the level's called the club. And yeah, it's essentially like
Could be very John Wooey, to be fair. Or
John
Wooey.
Wooey.
Yeah.
What's John say?
Because there's a lot of. I think he does a lot of like that sort of thing.
Oh, does he? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's for PC, someone's made a mod like a John Wick skin. I really want to fucking get it just to play that level because
how does the aging mechanic work?
Yeah, so essentially you, like I said, you start the game when you're 20 years old, and every time someone kills you, you age 1 year. But then those years can stack. So if you keep getting killed, they will stack by a year each time. But there are like stronger opponents who you can defeat, and it will take down the year by one.
Okay.
Just like real life.
Just like defeat a strong opponent, and you get younger.
I'm 84 years old.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool how it works into the mechanics as well. Because the older you get, your attacks get more powerful, but your life gets shorter. Like your health bar gets shorter.
Okay.
And there will be certain skills that you can learn when you're younger or when you're older. And the kind of idea being like you're too old to learn the skill now, or you're too young, you're not wise enough to understand that skill is the kind of like the thing behind
That's pretty cool. It's like a balancing act, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Does it kind of affect the way you play in that sense then? Or
kind of, yeah. Like, I will tend to one of the skills you come up against these like little shrines throughout levels where you can kind of claim some skills, and one of them is like because you can do takedowns in the game, and when you do a takedown, you recover some of your health back.
Okay.
And when there's like a age limit of 40, I think, on this perk where if you acquire it, you get more health on your takedowns.
Okay.
So I tend to like get all the younger ones first because I know I can get the later ones later on.
Yeah.
I had some mad marks.
Soundbite.
Get all the. I wouldn't notice until I saw Matt and Mark simultaneously.
I think I don't missed what happened.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
You'll-
Listen to it. Listen to the
I'll-
end.
We're too innocent.
It'll be there.
But yeah, you have a max age of 75, so that's kind of where you like actually die, and it's this magical talisman thing, which kind of keeps bringing you back.
Cool. Just like Jackie Chan. No,
Just like Jackie Chan.
not at all.
But one cool thing, it's a very kind of like roguelike game because you do a lot of replayability, and when you complete a level, you can go back to that level at the younger stage that you completed it at, in an attempt to complete it at a younger age, so then that you can kind of carry on through, because your age will obviously run through the 5 levels.
That's pretty cool.
But there's a bit of kind of risk and reward to that because you can you earn like skills, but you have to unlock them like 5 times to unlock them permanently.
Oh, okay.
So if you go back to a level, you will lose some of those skills, but you can then gain the XP to permanently unlock them. So it's a bit of a balancing act with that. It's just it's a fucking great game. Like
Sounds
I've never been a
interesting.
fan
Sounds
of
different.
roguelikes, but this one I
Same.
kind of I think I'd give it a go. I don't know if I'd
Is it
fit
Yeah.
really a roguelike, or is it a roguelike?
Kind of.
roguelike. Yeah.
I never know the fucking difference, to be honest. I just go for roguelite and hope that I'm right. Because I'm not really into those either. I tried like Hades. I've tried.
Hades
there
was
another-
okay.
Yeah, it was fun. And it's just that repetitiveness that always turns me off.
Yeah, it's the starting from 1 every single time that always kind of annoys me.
Yeah, and I will say, like with this game, I've had a few of those moments where I'm a bit like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to like do that part again, or But this game, I think, does a really good balancing. I keep talking about balancing. Balances it really well because as you play levels, you can unlock keys that will kind of unlock doors and kind of create a shortcut in the level.
Okay, that's cool.
So, which makes it a lot more easier and less tedious, I guess. So I think the way this game kind of balances it just works really well.
It's very balanced.
It's very balanced. This is a balanced game.
Do you think you're going to finish it?
I think I will.
He's not going to.
It was weird. Like, I hadn't played it for a couple of days, but like I said just before this, I was like, I should probably play it again just to go and refresh my memory, and ended up getting even further. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so close now. And it's amazing how, like, when you first start playing it, you're like, I'm never going to be able to like complete this game because it's so hard. But you do, with practice, you do just get better, and it kind of feels. Yeah, and you kind of feel like
Dark Souls.
Is that very Dark Souls? Yeah.
This is going to be Addison like the next week or so. Got to keep getting better.
Gotta grind.
Yeah, it kind of like playing this kind of makes me because I've like played this now. I'm like, maybe I'll give Elden Ring a go. Maybe if I can get through this, maybe I can do it with a fucking Souls game. So
the one to do it. The new
I'll wait
one.
for Addison's review on that, and yeah.
Enjoy that next
Go for it,
time
yeah.
on the Tepid Take.
This is probably the first time we know what we're going to talk about in 2 weeks.
Can we have like a sample of like
Yeah, Alison, can you say what you're going to say next time?
play some rock music? Anyway, yeah, it's a good game. I hope it's going to be a contender for Game of the Year, but I imagine Elden Ring's probably going to fucking win it, judging by reviews.
Jesus, yeah.
Pokemon.
10 out of 10's fucking everywhere.
Fuck off.
Speaking of ratings,
he's found a
Well done.
segue.
He's good.
I didn't even plan that. I just thought I was like, oh wait, hold on, there's one. Who wants to kick us off?
We're
We're
gonna
going to do it by
by
ratings, aren't we?
yeah.
Yeah.
So Addison's is the lowest, I
I
think.
think mine is the lowest.
Mine's
So
the
do I go
highest.
last or first?
I feel like you should go last. I feel like you should go. Okay,
Okay,
so,
mine's 1.1 above Addison, so I'm third then.
Okay. Matt, what was yours? IMDb score?
It's quite high. It's
Yours was like
7.5.
All right.
Yeah, Matt goes
start
first.
us off then.
Fuck's sake.
The poorly rated film I liked was Godfather.
Close. No, it's not.
Citizen Kane.
So what want to do first? The poorly.
Wait,
We're doing the one we like, but it's
The
shit.
bad one that you like.
Yeah.
The bad
Please
one
say
I
Sherlock
like.
Holmes
All
too.
right.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. I need...
Discombobulate.
Yes. Do it. That was your time to shine, Matt.
Here we go.
Blind jab. Discombobulate.
Doesn't make me want to watch it though.
Militant wild haymaker. Discombobulate.
Such a weird fucking word.
Discombobulate.
You're the only one
How
that's going
long
to
have
sound
we
bites.
made a joke that like this was his favourite film? It's
Since
at least since the second film came out.
2012, I reckon.
I will admit, Sherlock Holmes 2 is not my favourite film ever. I don't know why I ever thought that. But it is still
No, I
a good
think you
film.
regret telling us that.
Yeah, I definitely regret telling you. But
He had a few drinks.
having watched it after like 11 years,
To that
it's all right.
fateful night.
I didn't mind it. It was pretty good. It's an hour too long, but
How long is it in total then?
it's like 2 hours, I think.
Is this the first
Okay.
one specifically?
So I watched Sherlock Holmes 1 and 2, but it's 2 that was kind of the one, I guess, was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
I
one we
watched...
always said.
Weirdly, I watched Sherlock Holmes 1, and it's very Scooby-Doo-esque. It's kind of like, I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling Sherlock.
Pulls off a fucking mask.
Yeah, he does many times in the film. So,
Oh shit! Actually. I forgot about that.
and it kind of like, the first one is kind of shit. It's not very good.
I think they're both a bit shit. Like I can enjoy them and appreciate them for what they are, but
According to IMDb,
They're
it's
not
all right.
I remember the first one looking very blue. Yeah, it's
They
got
are
a very
very
strong
blue.
blue filter.
They are very
yeah,
blue.
it's like, oh, we're in London.
We're in London.
Yeah.
It's blue.
Grey
Every
clouds,
time I've been to
mate.
London, I
Oh,
can't say it's been
governor.
blue. But
It's black, isn't it? The big smoke.
Hey.
yeah, so I watched the first one, and yeah, I wasn't that impressed with that. I was like, oh, this is pretty crap. It's also like kind of like, oh, magic, and then obviously the magic is fake. It's
Yeah.
bollocks,
Yeah.
but it's kind of a bit like, ugh. It's the guy
Guy
who's the
Ritchie.
villain in it's Guy
Mark
Ritchie directs
Strong.
it. It's the guy who's the villain in Shazam.
Mark
Mark
Strong,
Strong.
Mark Strong, that's him. He's the villain
Yeah.
in it.
who I
And-
quite like. I like him.
Mark Strong.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a bit. Yeah, he's alright in this. Not great. I think.
He's Mark Strong playing a Mark Strong bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's literally just Mark
much.
Strong. Yeah.
Talking like this.
Yeah,
much.
exactly. Yeah. And it's kind of like, it's all right. It kind of just, I guess, it's just a setup, even though it's kind of like an established Sherlock, but it's kind of to set up the premise of
Yeah.
the second one, I guess. But so the second one
Second one.
is better. I think it is better. For some reason at uni, I thought it was like the best film ever. I don't know why I thought that.
I remember that the slow motion chase through the woods was really cool.
It is good, and there's some really good effects in it that have kind of other films have sort of taken from it, I think. With like they're zooming in and fucking frantic
Yeah.
shit, and the slow mo is like
Yeah.
it is like glorious. The slow mo is so good. I guess they filmed it on Phantom cameras and filmed it like 1 billion FPS because it's literally just like the motion is so slow, but it's so good. It is it's pretty amazing. And then it's like a buggy rocket, not a rocket. It's like a tank shell just goes flying past them. And that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
Doesn't
blows the shit out of them.
does this one have Moriarty in? Is he like the
Yeah,
main villain?
so that's why I think
Jared
this one's a
Harris.
bit better because the villain is better. It's
There's
Moriarty.
Jared Harris.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
pretty sure it's Jared Harris.
Yeah.
yeah. I think so. Yeah, I just think he's such a better villain than Lord Blackwood in the first one. I think Moriarty is the Sherlock villain, isn't it? So it's kind of it is always going to be better, I think. And it's also got Stephen Fry in it, so you know
Oh, does he play
Yeah,
he
his
plays his brother.
older brother?
Yeah, Mycroft. Yeah,
Minecraft. Is it Minecraft?
Minecraft. Yeah, he plays his brother Minecraft.
Plays Minecraft.
I'm starting to feel like this is Addison's favourite as well.
Yeah.
No, I just know films. Like you.
I
know
was
cinema. That was
I
11
know
years
my
ago, that
good
film.
taste. This film is wonderful.
I remember watching this film in the cinema. I remember like quite enjoying it and laughing. And
It's got
Typical
better
me, I just
comedy
had a nap.
elements, and you had a nap, of course.
I would actually say when at the time at uni when Matt would have said this was his favourite film, I think I actively disliked these films.
just for that reason. Yeah.
I've actually softened.
protested.
Yeah, I've softened on them recently, but at the time I definitely didn't like them.
They
You were
are.
hard on him last time.
They're pretty like basic. I would say they are pretty basic films. I do like a basic film.
You basic bitch.
Basic bitch. But Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law got pretty great chemistry in it. It's pretty like what?
Oh, I forgot. I just forgot Jude Law was
yeah, of course, yeah,
Watson. I was like, oh yeah.
They got pretty great chemistry, and like the comedy, like you said, you were laughing in the cinema, Sam. The comedy is a lot better in the second one. The first one's a bit like I don't think I laughed at all in the first one.
It's just God, it was you watched it stone face. Just no expression.
No expression whatsoever. Yeah. But the first one's got the discombobulate meme, so it's this great.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That bit
yeah,
is
that's-
quite good. Like it's
Yeah.
sets the
That-
tone for the rest of the series. I think
It does,
which-
yeah. And then at the
It
the end of
does.
the second one, it's kind of they do the discombobulate thing, but Moriarty could do it too.
Yeah,
That's pretty
the
good.
bit I
That
remember.
bit. Yeah. I quite like that bit. And then obviously
Yeah, that was quite good.
Sherlock. Spoilers. Sherlock pulls him off, and they go down the waterfall.
Waterfall,
Why
yeah.
did you
So
phrase
I
it
woke
like
up
that?
at that point and was like, "This is good."
Why would you phrase it like that?
Sherlock pulls him off.
Pulls him off.
And then there's a waterfall.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. You know.
They're making a third one of these, aren't they?
How?
I'm sure I've heard
It's
that
11 years
recently.
ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're still making a sequel to Avatar.
Sherlock's been
Yeah,
missing
that's true,
for 11
yeah.
years.
I mean, I guess they can. They leave it on a cliffhanger. They don't actually that he's alive at the end of the film.
Yeah.
He's in the end of the film. I think they should have left it with him dead, but
Yeah. Kind of like season 2 of the show, isn't it? Where
yeah,
it's
season 2 of the
so
Sherlock
fucking
show.
long
Yeah,
for that next
exactly.
one to come out.
Yeah, I never actually watched season 4 of that. Was it season 4?
Don't bother.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, it's an enjoyable film. There's some really good cinematography. Again, we're talking about like videography shit, but there's some really good cinematography in it. There's some great editing. There's really great editing in it, and the slow motion stuff is like a masterpiece. Bit gratuitous, but I think it has to be. I think slow mo is always that. Huh?
Did you ever watch his King Arthur film?
No, I didn't. Does that have loads of slow mo in it?
I can't remember. But
It got a lot of hate though, didn't it?
Yeah. It's a similar sort of thing. Like, it's not a good film, but if you go in knowing what it is, it's fine.
Yeah.
Is that your one, Anson?
I'll say it's most of our list, right?
It's just we're going to pick Guy Ritchie films. I like Revolver actually. Revolver's all right.
There is a questionable bit at the start of this film where Robert Downey Jr. is an Asian man, and that's very, very risque. Yeah, I saw it and I was like, "What the fuck? I do not remember this."
Yeah, that's a bit fucking.
Yeah, that was.
Twice.
I can't imagine that was great at the time. So,
Fucking hell, Christ!
Why did they do that? Yeah, it was very questionable.
I don't know.
Yeah, so my opinion on it has changed quite a lot since I last watched it. But at one point I loved the film. Don't know why.
You must have just come from the cinema. I think we'd just come back from
Maybe I hadn't
some
seen
holidays.
many films.
And you were like, that film was so good. It's the first film you ever watched.
Yeah, first film I ever watched. Yeah,
it's my favourite film of all time because it's all I watched.
It's the only one. But I think that kind of. Oh, Sherlock was also scared of horses, and I am too. So maybe that helped.
You relate.
I relate to him. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sounds like a nightmare.
I do kind of want to give it another go. I think if
he's not taking a bait. was that a segue? I don't know.
Sorry, Mark, I missed that. Bait me again.
Does it sound like a nightmare?
On Elm Street?
No. Mare. For fuck's sake.
Oh,
wow, that was a bit of a fucking stretch. Jesus.
Sorry,
everyone on that one.
Jesus Christ. Right, I'll rein it in. Okay.
I love it.
We all thought you were doing a segue to a topic that none of us know what you had.
I was like, anyway, let's move on from Mark's sake. So I think, was it mine that was next on the list? 5.6. So a film that I think gets way too much hate is Alien vs Predator, the first one.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
A full agreement.
Yeah, it's like 5.6. I think because I actually saw this on my birthday, and somehow I think I was like too young to see it, but somehow my dad got me in, and I just I remember like
cinema.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I saw it at the right age. It was on my birthday, so it's like good memories. I remember since in the cinema, just fucking loving it. And
I do reckon that we were at the perfect age for this.
Yeah, probably
because it would have been like just teenagers.
Yeah,
and like this film coming out, going, "Oh, we're too young to watch this. We should watch this."
Yeah. It's that kind of vibe, isn't it? Like, I remember one of my old friends from school, a guy called Chris, we'd have like proper debates. I was a big fan of Predator at the time, and he was a big fan of Alien, so we'd always be like, "Oh yeah, fucking no, Predator would win because of this." And then this film came out, and it was just perfect for us to fucking debate, and we fucking loved it. It was so good, and
I guess he won.
Yeah.
Because this is off the back of that weird period, wasn't it? Because is it Predators that they have the xenomorph skull? And then I think
Predator 2.
Yeah, and then Dark Horse were doing a bunch of comic books where they were doing crossovers.
Oh, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
I mean, Predator 2 was 1992.
Yeah.
So
this is old as Sam.
That was almost going to be my pick. I almost considered picking Predator 2 because I actually quite like that film.
I actually don't like that film.
Do you know?
Not the second one.
Now you say it, like Alien 3. Alien 4 is not the worst film ever.
Alien 4 is trash.
Yeah, Matt likes that one.
I love
remember
Aliens,
you saying
the
that
whole
recently.
anthology, yeah.
I think for me with Alien vs Predator, I think it's even gotten almost better with time, considering what's come. We've got Prometheus, which I know is
it is shockingly good for what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
It could have been really shit, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It could be awful. I can't say I've seen it since probably when it came out, but
Yeah. Well,
I remember
was
it being
it like
pretty decent.
2004?
yeah, I think it's 2004.
Yeah.
It is actually 2004. I've got a note here.
Yes.
They did like a Freddy versus Jason and that sort of thing, didn't they, around this time as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like the crossover year.
It was like
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Predator. I like Alien. You know, for me, it's like, you know, there was that film Heat when like Pacino and De Niro were first on screen together.
Yeah.
That's like this for me, like Alien and Predator.
Okay, all right then, yeah.
I knew that's where it was going.
That's so good.
Cinema together on screen.
I think a big part for me is the setting. I really like the cold setting.
Yeah,
because it reminds me of like the Thing and stuff. But
yeah,
I can see that.
I think it really works.
Yeah.
It has like a pyramid under the eye. It's just really cool. It's really unique.
Yeah.
You know,
You just said a pyramid.
you said that's so fucking weird.
That confused everyone.
What do you guys call it?
A pyramid.
Pyramid.
No, it's a permer.
Permer under the ears.
When you listen back to this episode, when I say about the pyramids in the Death on the Nile, that's how you say it properly, Sam.
You mean the permers?
Yeah, he was sat there going like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
Yeah, well,
What's
this is a new word for me. I've heard this before.
Oh, I'm crying.
Yeah. I mean,
The sequel
like
is shit, though, isn't it?
the sequel is shit. They tried to turn it into like a slasher, and that's just not the way to go with with these two IPs.
I watched it and I don't remember that at all. I remember the first one was based with
Probably
snow.
because you didn't see half the film because the lighting is so atrocious.
It's so bad.
dark.
It's
Yeah.
really
Everything's
bad.
backlit.
Oh, fucking hell.
It's shit. I just like with this one. The fights are really cool. I love like the Predator designs. It takes a little while to get to like the first fight, but like the setup isn't too bad. It's kind of
I
interesting.
like the set. I think it's slow enough, but not like boringly so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of just like hooked in
Yeah.
with the mystery of this pyramid. But I love that there's one alien. Did I say pyramid again?
Mark's face. I was just laughing at Mark's face.
Oh,
He smirked when he said
I'm
pyramid.
so paranoid now.
God, we need to do video versions of these at some point.
Yeah.
We should actually, yeah. There's that kind of one alien who's like, he's like the
gets-
kind of badass one.
Does he get the
Yeah, he
net?
gets like the netting, and then his tail gets like
yeah.
sliced off, and he throws the acid, like does like a
Yeah.
tail flick. He's like a fucking badass, man. He's so
Yeah.
cool.
I do like how they make the aliens and Predator, the main ones, distinct, like quite naturally. You can pick them apart very easily.
Yeah.
It's almost clever way of doing it.
Yeah, because the Predators
I've
have like
always
different
appreciated that.
masks. And then the aliens are kind of like their personalities. You can really like kind of tell, and
Yeah.
like I said, with the netting kind of scarring on the alien's head, and even like the Queen alien fight at the end, I think it's just awesome. There's that
Yeah.
fucking shot when the Predator does like a flip and spears it in the fucking head. I'm like, oh, fucking sick.
It's pretty good.
It's
It's,
just-
a very
it's a-
action-based film, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think compared
It's
to
very
what's kind of
Predator-esque, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
If like compared to what's come out recently from both franchises, it's a lot stronger than
Predators was alright. With
Yeah,
Adrian
that's pretty
Brody.
good.
Yeah.
I'd say that is
Yeah.
along the same lines as this.
Yeah.
In terms
Yeah.
of like,
Actually, yeah.
There's been
feel
another
and-
Predator since as well.
Yeah,
hasn't
but that
there, yeah.
sucked.
I
I
haven't seen it. I've heard
one, no.
terrible things.
Yeah.
So I've got
That's
next one.
the
Right.
Predator, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's been
Yeah.
a Predator game come out as well, Hunting Grounds. Apparently that's really shit.
Did that come out?
Yeah, I think it's out, yeah.
We saw that at fucking
We saw
EGX,
the
didn't we,
HG
man? Do you remember
Hicks,
that?
Yeah. And there was
Like, I
like a
can't
queue, we
wait
were
for
like,
that
nah,
game.
fuck that.
Yeah, like, nah, mate.
There's like 10 people who were like, fuck that.
And I think it was good that we didn't wait either.
Yeah, no, I'm sure, yeah.
I can't believe that game came out.
That was a while ago
has.
as well.
It must have been that shit. It just kind of came and died instantly.
I've got to confirm.
Anyway, yeah. AVP, what a film.
What a film.
Fucking hell, it came out in April last year.
What the fuck? Oh my
Missed
god.
by everyone.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Right, so mine's the next one, right?
Yeah,
Mine is a 3.9.
It's gotta be bad.
So, I don't even know how to start on this. So, my film is Prom Night, 2008,
Okay.
Okay, I know.
Yeah,
which
I
is
can see the poster.
which is a in the loosest
crown.
term, yeah.
Tiara, yeah.
Yeah.
In the very loosest term, is a remake of the original 1980 Prom Night.
Okay.
Is this the one that has Idris
yeah.
Elba?
This has Idris Elba, yeah.
Yeah.
And Brittany
I
Snow.
haven't seen it, but I knew he was in something like this.
So this is weirdly, in terms of like how it's a 15, but it's a slasher. So for our American audiences, that's like a PG-13, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're
There
right.
is no other slashers in this bracket apart from, I think, Happy Death Day, but that's a comedy essentially,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's kind of, whereas this is a full-on slasher.
What happens when someone gets stabbed? They just like candy just comes out.
So
of them.
every time they're stabbed, it kind of reminds me of, if you've ever watched like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like back in the day, because the effects weren't there, they used to just kind of almost show you, but kind of tilt away, or it was assumed as opposed to actually happening. It's kind of the same for this. A lot of times you see people getting stabbed, but it's enough away that you're not seeing
Suggested.
them being actually, I wanted to say
Is
penetrated,
this something
but
that you can tell was filmed like that, or has it been cut to shit like that?
Sherlock was very much like that. Lots of people get stabbed, but there's no blood. They get like they have like massive cuts on them, and then
I mean, that was
nothing.
a family film. To be
So I
fair.
think this,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
due to when it was released around when kids in America were having their proms.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I feel
yeah.
like it was intentionally done with the lower rating, so that it was then put
get
out
kids to
for
watch
like
it.
to get these younger kids, kind of the teen flick horror,
But do you
to get
think,
them all to watch it. I think that's
yeah.
the reason why. So in terms of like the original's got Jamie Lee Curtis, because at the time, obviously, she was in everything. Her brother is the secret killer in the original, because we've never seen that before. Halloween.
That was like me saying permanent.
But in this one, it's essentially a teacher that is just obsessed with Brittany Snow's character, Donna, I think her name is.
It's like break down.
I remembered Pyramid.
I can't wait to hear that back now. This is how it fucking sounds.
So the
Sorry.
ex-teacher is just obsessed with this student. He goes to her house while she's out at the cinema, I believe, and kills her parents and her brother. And then she gets taken into rehab. She ends up living with her, I think her aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
And time's passed. He's in prison, nothing to worry about. Then it gets to her prom night, and she's been like really progressing. It's really good. She's doing well. She's finally going to have a normal part of her like teenage life, and she's going to go to prom and have a great time. And then what happens? The ex-teacher that's obsessed with her gets out of prison. He's broken out. And he proceeds to go around the hotel, killing off her friends, trying to get to her.
Okay.
So it's kind of, it's your basic slasher.
Slasher film, yeah.
It does the mirror scare in there twice. Like, you know, the old...
Oh, yeah. He closed
Is
the
one of
mirror.
them a
Oh,
fake
there's
out?
someone there!
Are they?
It does the fake
does
out
it-
twice.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. That's yeah.
love it.
It's the most predictable slasher you'll ever watch in your life. It's probably just the most predictable I've ever seen. But for
So
some
why do you
reason,
like it?
I just
You like
like it.
slashers?
I forgot this was him meant to have liked it. I thought he was just ragging on this film.
You're not
I'm trying to hype up how bad
That's what
it
we're
is.
trying to say.
It's not good.
You succeeded.
So why? Yeah, why do you like it? Is
This
it
film
'cause you're-
isn't good, but I think because it just hits your standard tropes that you want from a slasher in a kind of predictable
It's
way.
the slasher you
it's-
can show your mum and dad.
Exactly. That's the
Watch
way.
with your parents. Yeah.
If you've got kids and they get into that age where they're like old enough to watch a horror, but you don't want to put anything too stick that on.
you need help.
Because our children are Monty Python characters.
He's a very naughty
Yeah,
boy.
My choice could have been anything, but I think I wanted to go with kind of the lowest I could find in terms of rating and how universally disliked it was. But I
you
don't
failed.
hate it.
'Cause
I know you beat
mine's
me.
lower.
Over to you.
Beat it.
So mine is part of a very popular franchise that has been rebooted a few times, and I would say within the section of this series that it appears, it is probably my favourite, even though it is hands down the worst one.
I'm excited.
Batman and Robin.
I should have known.
Shit!
Freeze.
Oh my god!
Yes.
This
Fucking
film
yes.
Nice
is
to
why,
meet you.
This film is why I like bad films. I can guarantee that. This is the so the rest of if you're counting from Michael Keaton to this one, there's like one series of Batman.
Yeah.
This was the only one I saw until 2005.
I think this is probably the only one I saw till then as well, because it was like
Yeah.
you're a kid and you're like, Batman and Robin,
Yeah.
yes.
I think there was a
It was the only
PlayStation
one-
game of this as well. Which I
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
probably. This
was
is the only
also
one we had
shit.
on DVD. And then by the time I was getting back into Batman, like the Dark Knight series was out.
yeah.
And that was amazing. And then I watched like the Michael Keaton ones and that stuff and went, that's not quite the Dark Knight stuff, is it?
No,
And it wasn't
I
the
don't think they've
cheesiness
aged
that
it
this
well.
one was.
Yeah.
I like the Michael Keaton one, where his like cowl doesn't move, so he has to like just turn his whole body.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it looks so weird. It's like, you fucking what?
I'll get you.
That's in here as well.
I'll fucking have you, mate. I'll fucking have you.
I just need to find where you are.
Come round the front. I'll have you.
Get away from my side, you prick.
Pretty bad design. When you're trying to
Yeah,
fight someone.
And like, if you've never seen this film, like it did genuinely almost kill the Batman franchise.
Is this the one
which is
he has nipples as well?
impressive.
He has nipples, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I think he
Clooney
also
as
had
well.
those
Yeah,
in
it's
Batman
Clooney, yeah.
Forever,
Oh, the
potentially, which
Kilmer
is the one
one,
before
yeah.
this. The Val
I
Kilmer
think it
one,
did.
yeah. Because they
Still
were
think
both
Val
done by Joel Schumacher,
They were, yeah.
who took over from the first one to the Tim Burton ones.
This
and
this
they're
one's basically a
way-
toy advert, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically.
It probably worked.
It did. I had a ton of toys, I think, or maybe before.
I think I had a Robin.
think I had any
I don't think I had
Batman
anything else. I think
toys.
I had a Robin though.
Yeah. I feel like I had a Batmobile, maybe. I don't know.
I liked Action Man. He was all about the action.
Action Man. Anyway. Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly just enjoy this because it's pure nostalgia.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Arnie, man.
Yeah,
good.
I
I kind of-
haven't seen this in about 10, 15 years, and I would probably have to rethink my opinions on it, but I still think it's pretty good.
Is this the one with Poison Ivy as well? Like Uma Thurman?
Yeah, Uma Thurman.
And Bane? Is Bane in this one?
Yeah,
Was
Bane, who is like a big, fat, stupid wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've got that ridiculous scene where he's like undercover, but it's just for that ridiculously big Bane with like the face.
Killed the dinosaurs. Guys,
It's like a lucha libre mask
And
almost,
of course,
isn't it?
Arnie giving his best performance as
Oh my god.
Dr. Freeze.
Some of his best
Smashed
lines
it.
are in this film.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to rewatch this because I think you can just have a laugh with it.
This is a film to watch
video.
whilst having a bunch of bells.
That's like finding all the sound bites.
please of mercy.
I have no idea what's going on.
In this universe, there's only one absolute.
Zero.
Everything
Oh, I was going to say everything zero.
freezes.
He missed the trick there, didn't he?
Anyway,
Don't know, really. Yeah,
it's a
it's
film that you
just-
can just enjoy.
yeah, this is a film to stick on when you're already drunk and need someone
Yeah.
in the background to laugh at.
Yeah.
Perfect film for that, yeah.
When I was a kid growing up, it was amazing.
It's kind of crazy for me because, like, in theory, George Clooney is like perfect for Bruce Wayne Batman,
Yeah,
It kind of is, yeah.
and like, well, aside from you, Addison, I guess somehow it didn't work.
Anderson is perfect for Bruce Wayne Batman, is that what you're saying?
I'd say that.
Yeah, aside from you, I mean, but like that should work, and kind of didn't.
I'm amazed it didn't
Unless you're
kill his
Addison.
career
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
it is a horrendous film, and it's one of those films you watch like, how did this get made? And I'm sure someone's made a video with the exact title of that.
Probably, yeah.
I think there's a whole
several.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah, just
probably.
dedicated to that, yeah.
Like, what did they read that made them sign on? I mean, or was it just the dollar signs?
It was the check that they read. Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen
money?
I think it's Graham Norton where George Clooney publicly apologises for it.
Yeah.
Which is quite a good interview.
I think Arnie is probably the best thing about it.
Yeah.
I love Arnie.
He's so good. Yeah.
He seems like he's having fun in it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Alex
what
Kramer
matters.
try new things. That's it. As long as you're having fun. That's what
Yeah. And they noticeably haven't done Mr. Freeze on any other film yet.
No, they haven't.
No.
Well,
No.
Poison
The
Ivy,
games, haven't
actually.
they?
Poison Ivy could be great. Both of them could be really good, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised Poison Ivy hasn't actually been done in films.
Yeah.
Is it because they're kind of trying to keep Batman quite
They're probably a bit
realistic, aren't
too,
they?
probably a bit
Rounded,
too
yeah.
superpowery. It'd be hard to
Yeah.
kind of get around.
Yeah, because even
I'm sure we'll
Bane
probably get a
was kinda
TV.
like-
We'll
even
get a
Bane
TV
was like-
series soon, I
Yeah,
reckon.
probably.
We've got the
maybe,
film
yeah.
coming out, haven't we, on the 4th, and after that
Yeah.
they'll probably do some sort of spin-off TV series.
Anyone reviewing that for the next episode?
Batman.
Yeah, well, that was mine. So,
Okay.
Nice. Relatively
Yeah, that's great.
inoffensive.
Yeah.
well, I'm sure someone's offended.
Just not us.
Well, moving on. So, I guess with this one, we kind of want to do the ratings the other way, really. I guess the lowest to highest.
Okay.
So
Mine's
mine
the
was
highest.
yours is the highest mark. Mine was 7.8.
Mine's
Mine was
7.7.
7.2.
So Addison.
What's your
So it's me. It's me
That's
again.
7.2? All right,
me,
yeah. So-
Okay.
Good film that you dislike, or popular film that you
I'm
dislike.
stressed. I'm stressed.
I think you. Yeah, I think of all the people, you'll probably be the most angry at this. This is mostly because
I just had a
two
thought.
films
What if we
came
picked
out.
the same film?
I kind of want that to happen. I think that'd be awesome.
So this film came out at the same time as another very similar film, and again, it was when we were growing up, and I had the other one, and I preferred that one, despite all the hype around this one, which was A Bug's Life.
Oh yeah, okay.
And you preferred Ants, didn't you, you
I preferred
motherfucker?
Ants.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you, Addison.
No, fuck Ants.
Bug's
about
Life is
flick,
so forgettable
motherfucker.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I saw it years after it first came out, kind of similar to like the original Batman films, and had already grown up with Ants, so it was just kind of that film, but not what I remembered. And,
Yeah.
and I just found it wasn't as good as any of the other Pixar films that were out around about the same time. Like Monsters Inc. is way better than this.
I love
Yeah.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
I
Monsters Inc.'s
fucking
great.
love
Yeah.
Monsters
Yeah,
Inc.
that's fair.
Is that considered a bad one?
No, I don't think so. It was
No.
just.
Fuck off, Sam.
I just think this is for me personally.
I don't think any Disney
of
film's
like
a
the
bad
classic
one, is it?
Pixar films, the worst one by far.
Yeah, I kind of forget that it's a Pixar film sometimes. I always think it's like a DreamWorks.
It's
Animation.
that sort of thing, right? It feels like it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
it does,
and I
actually,
cross-
yeah.
I cross them over a lot because which one has Hopper, the grasshopper? Is that
That's
That's
Bugs.
Bug's Life.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck! I was gonna say it's Ants.
I used to have an
And
alarm
Ants-
clock when I was a kid.
Ants
that
is
was
the
a hopper.
one with Woody Allen for some fucking reason, and then he goes to war with termites, and it's horrific.
Yeah, I remember like limbs being blown off and stuff of the ants.
Yeah,
isn't
and
it?
he has a
Yeah.
friend who has like no head or something.
Oh Christ!
It's
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Christ. Jesus.
It is a bit dark.
I think
Fucking
Ants is
dark
actually
film.
I think Ants is actually the DreamWorks one.
Oh, is that actually?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
'cause
think it's
Bug's
one of the
Life is
first
Disney,
examples
right?
of
It's
that like
Pixar.
DreamWorks
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Right?
I guess
Yeah.
it would only be DreamWorks who would do the other one.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to go from toy because this was the second Pixar film, right? Like official.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Toy Story 2 was in between
Feature
or not,
length.
but
Mark,
it was,
What year was this?
What year is this?
I fit. What?
I think like 97
what year?
maybe.
95, I think, was the first or the second Toy Story. I'm not 100% to be honest.
98 was A Bug's Life, and Ants would have been the same year, or around about the same time.
Cinema seems
Yeah,
to do
Bug's
that.
Life
a
was
fuck
the
ton,
second
don't
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the
like
other
his
example is
two
the
films.
White House.
they? The White House
White
Down
House,
and
White House
Olympus
Down
Has
and-
Fallen.
Yeah.
Olympus Has Fallen was pretty good. I never watched White House.
White
Down.
House Down was better.
Really?
The
What
Channing
the fuck?
the Channing Tatum one was better.
I would actually say I agree with that. I fully agree with that.
Oh my god!
I've not seen them, so I don't know.
I hope that's your one, Mark.
Not
I
that
wanna
high
hear
is
you.
rated. Are you mad?
I watched Olympus Has
That's true,
Fallen, and then I got like halfway through the like opening scene and went, I've fucking seen this film and forgotten everything about it.
How I felt when I watched Sherlock.
Yeah.
Yeah. But A Bug's Life, yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, so what was the rating on it? 7.2?
7.2. So not like super high, but
No. It's not
Yeah.
best film ever. No.
I think again this is kind of the age period we are. I feel like a lot of people our age love this film, and I
I
just
feel like
remember
it'd be very
growing up.
divided, like we are. I guess it's like some
Yeah.
people would like Ants, some people would like Bug's Life.
Yeah, and I think it is
yeah.
just what you had, and
Yeah.
I just know that growing up, like, people seemed to bum it, and then when I finally watched, I went, yeah, it was fine.
For me, I like Bug's Life the game on the PS1 more. I've actually got it behind me. Like that was
very
good.
surprised no one-
That was good fun. You'd like collect berries and shit, and then you'd like throw them at the grasshoppers.
Sounds amazing. Yeah.
And in the
Bang.
Ants video game, you commit genocide or some shit.
That's what Adson's got.
Taking off limbs.
That's why he loves
Oh
Elden
my
Ring. He
God.
just loves death of everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
hell.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
no,
who was
I
next.
kind of agree. I think it was Matt. You say yours was
It was me.
7.7.
Yeah, it
Right,
was me. Yeah.
No one's triggered yet, no?
I thought
no,
you
not so
were.
far.
I thought you
No,
were.
no.
No, I think both Ants I liked as well. So I think I can fully
We'll
see where
see.
you're coming
You
from
might
for
be
both.
triggered by this. So
I
we'll
feel
see.
like as soon as Matt opens his mouth, I'm
I'm
going to slap
excited.
him.
I'm excited.
Remember, I can
So-
physically hurt you this weekend.
you can. Yeah, fuck. I better be careful.
He'll
So
give you
this
the
is
Ants
actually
treatment.
the oldest film we've ever talked about on the Tepid Take.
Ooh.
So
Is it Citizen
I'm going to
Kane?
play a soundbite. And it's
Is it dated?
It is dated, yeah. Here we go.
My name is Deems Taylor, and it's my very pleasant duty to welcome you here on behalf of Walt Disney, Leopold Stokowski, and all the other artists and musicians whose combined
Fantasia,
talents
wanker.
went into the creation of this new form of entertainment, Fantasia.
Did you pick this specifically to piss off Mark?
Kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
All aiming at a mark. Like I might change mine to fucking
Do you know,
Toy Story 3.
my opinion now of it, after watching it, is like, actually, I quite enjoyed it. It was alright. It was too long, but...
Such a Matt choice.
He always cops out, doesn't he? Always cops
I
out.
actually like this.
Trevor said the other day, I think he pretty much said that I just cough out all the time.
Well, he was right.
But the Fantasia, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Everyone knows what fucking Fantasia is. It's literally just like artist interpretations of classical music. So
that what
no
it is?
wonder I
I
fucking...
I have no idea what Fantasia is
Yeah, I
about.
just know
it's
like
I
Mickey in a
know
wizard
I've
hat.
seen it.
Yeah, you
but-
got
Yeah,
a
so that's the
section with
Sorcerer's
Mickey.
Apprentice. Yeah. So that's like the famous scene from... That's actually in
Chernobog's
Fantasia
quite a cool
and...
one.
Yeah, and that Sorcerer's Apprentice is
Chernobyl.
in Fantasia and
It's like a
Fantasia
huge
2000.
Gargoyle-esque.
Yeah, that's
monster.
like one of the last ones, isn't it? Yeah. I know, I watched it the other day. Oh. No. When I was a kid, literally, there were a few videos, VHSs, at my nan's, and this was one of them. And I basically, whenever I went round, I would watch this, and I fucking hated it. Because it's the most boring shit on the planet when you're
I've
a
got
kid.
one question for you. Was the other
Yeah.
video the double pack Titanic? Because if it is, then we might have the same grandparents.
No, it was Aladdin.
Ah, fair enough.
The double
Fair
pack
enough.
Aladdin.
No, it was just normal Aladdin.
Extended edition.
Yeah. I mean, I love Aladdin. That's like one of my favourite Disney films. But fucking Fantasia, whenever they put that on, I was like, oh my god, it's so fucking boring. Because, you know, you're a kid. It is really
No,
fucking
it is quite boring, to be fair.
Yeah. And I you know, I kind of repressed that memory. And like, and we said, like, oh, what's a film that you like that no one,
Yeah.
no, what a film that no one likes and you hate? No. Film that
Popular film that you
everyone
dislike.
likes and you hate. Yeah. I was like,
Because this feels
Fantasia.
this almost feels like, you know when you get like those generic YouTube videos, if you put like on a
Yeah.
classical mix and it just had video in the background, that's what Fantasia feels like.
That's pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. It's basically the old equivalent of like video jockeys when they would like, you know, so if someone's
Right, yeah,
DJing
yeah.
and they'll have like some video playing behind them. They were like, oh, it's the music. It's the interpretation of the music. It's basically that. Yeah. Which is like amazing when you think about it, because this came out in 1940. Which
Holy
is fucking
shit.
ridiculous.
It is insane.
That is pretty ridiculous. Actually.
Yeah, and you know, this is literally artists like Walt Disney artists designing animations for like classical music. This is actually fucking incredible when you think about it.
Matt loves this fucking film.
I wouldn't say I love it. It got a bit boring.
He likes what
after,
it stands for. You may not enjoy
Bad
it.
choice. It's such a bad choice.
It's a bad choice.
But
You
I
can't
did
cop
hate
out,
it.
you got to commit.
Okay, I did hate it when I was a kid because it was really fucking boring. Like, when you're a child, last thing you want to see is a fucking classical musical. There's no fucking lyrics or anything.
Where's Dua Lipa? Fuck's sake.
When I was a child. She was a child as well.
It's weird, actually.
I'm trying to think of
I
music that was around when we were younger.
Like, there's no...
Where's the
Some of the animations are like complete,
Spice
like...
Girls.
Just like... They're literally just nothing, really. They're just flowers dancing around. Why would I like that as a child? I don't know why.
Yeah, it's like
I
unicorns as well, haven't you? Got like a hippo.
Yeah, it's unicorns. There's like I said, gargoyle. There's fucking mushrooms.
Whale? Is there a whale in there?
That's
This is
Pinocchio.
literally, if you were high, if you were on mushrooms, you'd be fucking tripping.
This would be the best film ever.
This would be amazing. Yeah, fucking hell. If you were high, Christ Almighty, it would be a trip out.
It's weird, like you like I think this happened recently where you on the podcast, but you've unlocked a memory
I've locked one.
where like one of my friends had this very same opinion. I think we were both into Kingdom Hearts at the
Yeah.
time, and maybe
Okay,
there was
yeah.
a Fantasia reference in that, and he was
Probably
like, "Oh,
Sorcerer's
Fantasia."
Apprentice, I imagine. Yeah.
Chernobog's
Mickey-
like one of the
shit.
big bosses towards the end.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, and it was Sorcerer's Apprentice, and he was the same. Like he was like, "Oh, have you seen that?" And I was like, "Nah." He was like, "It's fucking shit." He was like- I was like, "All right, I guess I'll never watch it then."
It is like, if you're not interested in classical music, I feel like I'm almost 30 now, so I can kind of go, oh, this is actually pretty interesting. I love
brandy.
classical music now because I'm old.
Cigar.
Stick on the Tchaikovsky, boy.
Yes, I will enjoy the Nutcracker. Nutcracker is a bop, by the way. The full set.
Oh my gosh.
The Snowman's pretty good as well.
Yeah,
Nutcracker is a bop.
Nutcracker is a bop. That's the line of the fucking episode.
It fucking is, though. It's so fucking good. There's so many
That's the
good
title.
songs in that. They say it in Fantasia, actually, that it wasn't actually really popular at the time, which is like mental, because it's like a massive Christmas song, really, isn't it?
I can't remember how the fuck it goes.
There's a few. Nutcracker is like a set, and there's a few different songs in there.
Oh, okay.
I have Dance with the Sugar Plum Fairies, if you want to.
Ooh, yeah.
You'll know this.
Oh, yeah, this is good shit. Yeah.
But this is like in most Christmas films. It's a bop.
So this is a fucking bob.
You know someone's done that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But
Matt had it ready to go.
yeah, it's so long. Why is it so long?
Just the whole song. It's like 30 minutes.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful bit of music.
I
that.
can understand why I hated it as a kid, because literally sitting there for 2 hours watching this is just. There's literally there's 10 minutes of them getting up from their seats and then sitting back down. Like, why the fuck would I want to watch that?
I bet it shut you the fuck up though whenever they stuck it on.
Clearly,
You
it
just
must
sat
have
there
done.
like-
Yeah, because I watched it fucking a lot of times when I was a kid. So
Trying to understand what the fuck this
I was
is.
like, what the fuck is this? I see Mickey, but he's not talking or anything. Oh, he does talk in it, actually. He does talk afterwards. But
Oh, my
it's
God.
yeah. Looking back though, like now, I can appreciate it. Now I'm older.
Appreciate it with age.
Yeah, there's like some really good. It's like a bit of a marvel of cinematic.
And DC. Sorry, it had to be said.
Oh, fucking hell. It's like some of the things they do in it, like even with the live action people, they have like light setups, so like their shadows cast on the back of the wall, and like it's a really nice arty. It's very arty, art. And you know, it kind of like it can sit in like modern filmmaking really because it's so good. Like the animation is just good. It's Disney, but
This film that you hate.
Mark's
this
dying.
film I hate. Yeah.
Mark was like putting his hands to his head.
It's just because at the moment no one's offended me, and I know I'm going to offend someone with mine.
Oh shit.
Oh no!
Well,
right,
I'm
well,
done talking about
target
Fantasia.
specifically you.
Oh, yeah,
so.
I know. At the moment, it feels like just fully going for Disney. Go on, Sam.
I'll
We
go
should have
next.
said A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I'll kick off.
So mine's Nightmare Before Christmas.
How dare you?
So yeah,
Mine's
mine,
also Fantasia.
Yeah, we had the same. What the fuck? So mine, it might piss. I feel like it's going to piss one of you off.
Is it me?
Let's find out. Popular film I dislike. I'm not really keen on too many 80s films. This one especially.
Addison's already shaking his head.
Yeah, I think Addison's The Breakfast Club.
Oh, fuck off.
No, I hate that. Yeah, I hate that as well. Yeah, no.
Yes,
yeah,
you actually.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my god, I thought I was
know,
going to be like fucking up
Similar
the
to
battle.
Fantasia, but the reverse. The first time I watched it, I really enjoyed it. The second time I watched it, I thought, this is the most boring film I've ever seen.
Yes, it's so boring. Like, I think I watched this about 2 or 3 times. I watched it first in A-level media studies because it was like the big thing to watch. And I remember thinking, all right, I have a theory about this film. Actually, I have a theory.
It's good the first time. That's it.
Yeah,
Addison, how many
Watched it
times have
once.
you watched it?
3 or 4, probably.
Oh, you
Yeah,
sound
but-
like
Maybe a bit more.
You shouldn't forget about it, though.
my theory with this film is that it has an incredible final 5 minutes. I think the last 5 minutes are fucking great. You got, but the fuck is the song called?
Don't you forget,
Don't you forget
about
about
me.
me. And then there's like the narration of the letter about stereotypes and the fucking air punch, and it's all like, oh, and it leaves
So
you feeling,
80s, yeah!
yeah, it's like freeze frame,
Freeze frame.
and it leaves you feeling great. And I think people saw that and were like, that's the best film I've ever watched. And it's like, no, the ending was good. The rest of the film is really boring and mundane. And do you know what it reminds me of? The idea reminds me of like a GCSE drama idea where like a couple of students went, oh, do you want to be a really good story of like you're like the jock, you're the geek, you're the pop, like that's kind of what it feels like to me when I watch it. I fucking hate the rebel guy. Fuck off. I don't care if you're being abused.
Bender.
Bender.
Like Futurama.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just maybe it was of its time. I've tried with this film so many times. I love the song. I love the final 5 minutes, but the rest of the film is just, oh my god, man, it's fucking boring.
It is boring.
And
I
it's
find
like
it, yeah.
simplistic writing. Oh, we're all stereotypes, but we're not really. Fucking well done.
This is getting more red the more you say.
It's so red.
I genuinely feel like I'm getting told off for liking this film.
Fuck off, Addison.
I think I sit in a position where I understand a lot of people that don't enjoy it. But I personally enjoyed the film. I think if you'd come from like a different 80s, well, like Ferris Bueller or like Weird Science, I might have killed you.
Very
This-
good. I actually
It's
enjoyed
good, yeah.
Weird Science, I watched once when I was young. I think
I've
Addison,
seen
you
that.
actually disliked that one. If
I don't think
remember
I've seen it. Which one's
Oh,
that?
okay.
I've never seen
The
That's
Downey
one where
Jr.,
they
right?
make the model. Like,
Oh, no, I watched like the first 10 minutes and went, fuck this film. Yeah.
it's just so 80s.
Oh yeah. This for me, this film is the 80s that I hate.
Yeah. It's quintessentially
It's that-
80s, but bad. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a lot of great things from the 80s, but this is the type that I just go, oh my god, fuck off. Like anyone who I'm about to go like
Anybody
Don't
likes
watch
this
it.
film,
Go
go
for
fuck
it.
yourself.
like one scene that I really dislike is the scene when they all get high, they smoke some marijuana, and then they all have a dance, and then the jock screams and shatters a fucking window. What the fuck is going on?
Oh, yeah,
man?
that is weird. Yeah, that is
Like-
odd.
Oh, just go away. Great final 5 minutes. Just watch the final 5 minutes.
Don't
just
come out,
watch
Sam.
that.
Just go for it. Don't do a me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song. I like when that song comes on, I'm thinking about this film and going, yeah, that final 5 minutes is fucking great. But I don't like the rest of the film. Anyway. Sorry, I'm getting a bit angry
I really
now.
enjoy this film.
If you're not angry, you'll be angry when I say mine.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah,
There you
let's
go.
go to yours, Mark.
Okay, so mine's rated 8.3 out of 10.
This has got
Pretty
to be-
high,
It sits in
really
the
high.
top 250 films of all time.
Is it Lord of the Rings?
It's not Lord of the Rings. We could have. I think me and you, Matt, could have said Lord of the Rings
we
at some
could have said
point.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
It was the thing on the table
don't-
at one point.
Like,
Yeah.
as much as we joke about Lord of the Rings, actually, I don't think I could justify the dislike for it. For me, fantasy is not an interest. I'm not bothered. But it's a good film. How do I even... So, the film I've chosen that is very popular and I dislike is Braveheart.
Okay.
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 I'm fine with that.
I don't like it.
I think from like the same with what Sam's saying, that there is a lot of like set pieces and stuff that are incredible in these films. Don't take that away, but there's aspects that are an issue. For me, the biggest aspect with this, as a history graduate as well, is this is the most inaccurate film there's ever been. Like it's
pretty inaccurate, isn't it? Yeah.
I think the thing for me is that I know that you need to take like liberties with films for kind of like that. It's a film at the end of the day, so you've got to make it fun for the audiences. I get that. There's certain films like Imitation Game where they do stuff that wouldn't have happened in Bletchley Park. There's Darkest Hour. There's that whole scene with Churchill. Completely ridiculous. Never would have happened. But you allow it because it's a history film. Fine.
Allow it.
I think the issue with this is Mel Gibson and Michael Wallace completely disregard the majority of the real history. They never really apologise for it. They never make a point that they're actually going off of Blind Harry's poem about called The Wallace as their source material. They just
sound great.
So what's a massive inaccuracy in this film? Because I've never known. I've always heard that.
The film starts in 2080 AD, and the whole line that actually starts the film is
2080.
Yeah, in 1280. Sorry.
Oh, I
say 20.
Like
in the future.
It's a space film.
I don't know.
Braveheart 2080.
So the whole the opening line is William Wallace saying, "Historians from England."
Our spaceships.
They say the line of historians from England will say I'm a liar, and the King of Scotland died without a son. The cruel pagan, who was never a pagan, Edward the Longshanks, claimed the throne for Scotland for himself. But it's like, set in 1280, you already start in the film off saying that Scotland's under English rule. It wasn't for another 16 years. Lie. The king that you're talking about wasn't a pagan. Then it goes into the whole thing of that William Wallace was a commoner. He wasn't. He was low in ability.
Yeah.
Then you've got the whole... I think that the issue with it is that it's... Not so much the film is being completely inaccurate, but the fact that it's still used and referenced so much now.
It's portrayed as being accurate.
Even with the referendum, it's like you always get constant nods to Braveheart, even though it's wholly inaccurate.
I'm surprised it's rated that highly, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's like the greatest film ever.
I know people like it, and it is a very popular film. I would never have thought it would be rated that highly.
No.
Okay.
I always thought this was like, these days, kind of like a bit of a joke of a film, almost, like, because of how cheesy it kind of is.
It is pretty cheesy, yeah.
I thought it was just one of those films that had just not aged well, so I didn't think it would be rated that highly, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's nearly a 3-hour film, isn't it? Very long.
It's
directed by Mel, and Mel stars as William Wallace, but as a 40-year-old, but he's acting a 20-year-old.
It's like I
Hollywood.
I actually quite enjoyed this film. I've seen it a couple of times, and it's kind of weird because, obviously we're all English, and it makes me fucking hate the English so much.
I think that's the issue as well. Is that it's a hard one because I think it's portraying a real history that isn't. And to say that the English weren't being dickheads at the time, they were doing some horrible stuff. But but they they portray it that the Scottish were doing nothing, like they weren't sacking places and raping and killing people as well. Like they were also doing the bad stuff. But in this film, it's always English bad, Scottish good, patriotism.
Yeah, but in a film's defense, especially one from the 90s, you can't have the protagonist doing that. You can get away with it these days.
Game of Thrones might have been able to get away with it.
I think that's where we say you allow there's levels, isn't there? You can kind of go, I can concede to that you're not going to show that. But I think it's little things as well. So you've got Princess Isabella of France marries Prince Edward, but at the time she would have been 3. And Prince Edward would have been 13. So that doesn't make sense. Then you've got this whole line with William Wallace that there's a romantic interest. He gets Princess Isabella pregnant, but she would have been 9 in France at the time, by the time that Wallace died. So that's not... I think for me...
That freedom speech is fucking good, though.
That's the thing. That's fantastic, but that's
which he
also
never gave.
No, I think he would have given like something along that line.
Yeah.
But also the fight scenes that you have as well. So you've got the Battle of Stirling in the film, but the actual battle was the Battle of Stirling Bridge, and there was a fucking bridge there.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But they just took that part out of the film, and instead they just Leroy Jenkins the fight, rather than it being like they overpower the situation. They're just fucking running in. And in that scene as well, this film was nominated for editing for an Oscar. Yeah, as William Wallace is running, he's got a warhammer, then he's got nothing, then he's got a fucking sword. Like, which one is it?
I remember seeing that.
It's like a video
one of those,
game.
Like,
Swapping his weapons out.
just pressing Y every time he moves.
I remember seeing that on like one of those like top 50 movie mistake kind of like shows that they would be on like BBC Three or some kind of shit like that. Yeah, it's like a fucking axe, hammer, sword.
It's ridiculous. They got like there's even a scene where like they're showing their asses, like they pull their kilts up, which kilts weren't a thing at this time either, so they fucked that up. They've got like pikes on the floor that they stab the horses as they're running, but the scene before you can't see anything on the floor. Like there's just grass.
My God.
And then they also have a shot where like just before the horses have got there, you can see they've lifted up their pikes too early. So that how this even got nominated, I don't fucking know. Like
with the
So
historical accuracy,
if we were to remove all pretenses that this was a historic film, so take out all the famous names like William Wallace and all
so
that.
this is a
If
fictional
this is
film,
purely
yeah.
fictional and advertised as such, do you think you'd like it?
yes, I would. And I think that's the point, isn't it? Is that you take away the bits that them like the inaccuracies they've got, you can concede on everything else, because actually in terms of set pieces, the fights are really good. The music in the film is fantastic. Like it is a really enjoyable film. It's just it portrays itself as something that's accurate and a basis in which people kind of look at Scottish history.
Do you know what's
that's
similar?
solely incorrect?
There's a similar film I'm thinking of. The Greatest Showman is very historically inaccurate.
Yeah, exactly. It's those sort of things. People will look at that and they'll go, P.T. Barnum was like some sort of wonderful person when he was not.
Yeah, he made some great songs.
He looked a lot like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, looked nothing like Hugh Jackman.
But I think it was a hard one because I wanted to choose something that was highly rated. I disliked because of all of this, but actually in terms of a film, it is an enjoyable film. Just don't take it on face value.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
it's one of those ones that I've heard so many times about the inaccuracies, but because I don't know the history, I can just watch it and enjoy it as like a medieval kind of epic, and you know, freedom.
I just generally find with these sorts of films, you just take everything with a pinch of salt. Just you shouldn't be basing your historical knowledge on films anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he should. He has a degree in history.
Which is why I think this is. There's a few times in the past where I was like really pedantic about stuff, and now you've got to kind of go, fuck it, you got to concede. Like that's fine. It annoys me though because there should be historians that are on these films, and they don't.
There should be really, yeah. There probably
Yeah.
was, and they were going, "Oh fuck you, we'll do what we want."
That would cost money though to fix the
Shit,
problem
that's
they
money.
don't want to fix.
So yeah, that is my highest rated film that I dislike.
I think we're still a solid tepid take. I don't think any of us are leaving.
Annoyingly, I think all of our choices were ones you go, yeah, fair enough. I can actually
Yeah,
see that. I mean, Matt's one you could have flipped his too. And
I
it'd been the same.
disagree with one of those.
You
but-
could have done, yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll ignore that one.
And that is it. We hope you enjoyed listening to our tepid take.
If you want to send us your tepid takes, then email us at thetepidtake@outlook.com.
And give us a follow and a like on Instagram at The Tepid Take.
And we've been the fucking what's it called again? I never thought it would be Sam who would betray me like this.
It was so historically inaccurate of the 80s that it pissed me off.
They should have had people from the 80s be there in the 80s
No.
when it was filmed.
There were no fried eggs.
Just ever in the 80s.
Where was the fucking breakfast?
Fucking breakfast.